Welcome to the Trek Trav review. This is a bit different. I'm doing this live, but you might be seeing it later. So let's just have a talk about Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 6, Bounty. Basically, we might have people join during the stream. I doubt it. So this review will contain spoilers, and we'll just talk about everything that's going on. So obviously, last week we left off with Jack confessing that he has visions, and that comes down to he has aromatic syndrome, the same as Picard did before he got his synthetic body, which is, I'm gathering, going to play into it later. And they have to get to the Daystrom Institute in order to hey, AJ's movie place. I'm okay, hence live streaming. I can talk about it later. And basically they go to Daystrom to steal the database to find out what else was stolen. So Riker, Worf, and Raffi go on to this. And then we get our first look at Moriarty, who I'm sensing may have just been a bit character to get people enticed for the trailer, which was a bit disappointing. Like, of course, a welcome addition to the thing, but it was a little like, why are you there? But this episode is nostalgia bait filled. It's hugely filled with nostalgia bait. It's very, I want to say, playing on the strings of nostalgia to get you to watch. So they're on Daystrom. We see a crow. Then some musical notes start playing over the speakers. And we get some clips from the Next Generation of Riker in Encounter at Farpoint hearing Data whistle. And it was a really, really sort of nostalgic moment going, okay, I see where they're going. I swear I've read it before, though. I think there was some spoilers I've read and somewhere, because everything that happened, I read somewhere, I swear. So basically, Moriarty, they figure out that the AI is actually trying to help them. Moriarty disappears once he hears the end of the whistle, and then they go off into the memory core, and we're introduced to, I'm gathering B4's body. I'm gathering Data's in there, and I'm gathering, it might be Law's body. We're not sure. It's I didn't mind that element of it. So I'm talking about this because it's sort of the B story, or the A, I don't even know. But basically, Law's, Lau's, Data's, B4's minds have all been integrated into this one body, a golem like Picard's that can age. Which, as soon as I saw it, I've gone, this sounds like everything I've read about what they plan to do after Nemesis if they made a sequel. Which for me was a little bit like, it was a little bit like, okay, are we just, it's like they've taken bits of stuff that I've heard from documentaries before. In terms of that plot, they're all integrated, but the body is still attached to the computer. They've got to work out how to separate it and stuff like that. So skipping to the Titan plot, the Titan plot is basically they've been jumping around the galaxy, around the Alpha Quadrant, leaving buoys to distract ships that are hunting them. And they finally get to Daystrom Station, or Jupiter Station, and they're hiding, and they're like, how the hell did we get in there? They've been raffing that off. We get some, they've got to escape because starships have found them again. We find out that all Starfleet ships are integrated, connected via Wi-Fi, if you will. And that's how they keep finding them. So it's very interesting I like that element. It's that they're all integrated. We learned that in season 2 because the Borg could hack them so easily. And then they go to the Starfleet Museum, and they see a bunch of classic ships. And this is where we get our nostalgia. We get the 1701A, the Defiant. We get the HMS Bounty from Star Trek 4, the Klingon ship. And I love the nostalgia. I love when Jack says, I'm a Constitution guy. I feel like Jack might be a surrogate for Terry Metalis. We have a really nice scene of Jack and Seven talking about the different ships. And then we get to Voyager, and Seven talks about how that was her family, and she's been trying to find a family again, hopefully for Titan, the series. And I really enjoyed that moment. But once again, I think this season of Picard is so heavily nostalgic. It wasn't super needed. I get seven's part helped. So, on the terms of the themes of this episode, Picard is dealing with a distance between him and Jack because Jack is annoyed at Picard because he's got the Aromatic syndrome. Geordie's annoyed at his daughter on the Titan because she's helping them and she's in trouble now. And Geordie's annoyed at Picard because of that as well. We have a nice reunion between Worf and Beverly. Beverly just hugs him, but he doesn't like hugs. And the basic premise of the show is they've got to find a way to hide. Geordie won't help them because he doesn't want to put his kids in danger. He talks about putting his family in danger and he talks to Picard about it. And what turns him around eventually is his daughter's talk on family. Now he's the one who taught her that. And I like the message that these characters have changed, but they're kind of getting back to the way they used to be, which I think is really interesting. So that's this story for the Titan especially was more about family and getting people to help and what it means to be in Starfleet and a part of a crew. We find out obviously Jack's got the Aromatic syndrome. He might die later on. Seven's missing family. Picard is trying to connect with Jack. Geordie's trying to connect with one of his daughters who he hasn't got along with. And at the end, Geordie comes in to help after they steal the HMS Bounty's cloaking device because they couldn't find the ship for a couple of years after Star Trek 4 because the ship's cloaker turned back on, which I thought, okay, that's a really like far away reference, but it was really entertaining. And so they steal the cloak. Jack and Geordie's daughter are trying to get it activated, and Geordie walks in and he tries to help because Geordie's a great engineer. I love the bit where Geordie's getting doted on by the captain of the Titan, Captain Shaw, and Shaw's like gushing over how much he loves this guy, which I thought was really, really amazing. And it was just a really fun sort of take because he treated Picard and Riker so differently, but Geordie he like worshipped. I found it quite entertaining. So basically, what they steal this cloaking device and then they go back to the Jupiter station or to the Daystrom Institute space station, and they try and games with Matt, and they basically try to they basically go there, beam up, but Riker gets captured beforehand by Starfleet officers. What's his name? I've forgotten their names. I'm getting old. So Raffi and Worf beam up. They take the data law body over, and Riker is captured. Then we find out that Vadic is actually one of the Starfleet officers, kills the other two, and takes Riker prisoner. So the data law robot gets taken back to the Titan. Geordie's helping to fix him. We get a nice little moment between Geordie and his daughter where she knows the tool he needs to use. And then Data Law switches between the bodies. And Brent Spiner jumping from Data to Law to B4 was a really, really fun, like a little moment where you could see, like, you don't really quite see it over the years, but he's put so much character into the three. And I really enjoyed, I don't know where Data Law got holographic eyes from, but we find out that Vadic stole Captain Picard's original body. We don't know why. He just stole Captain Picard's original body. For fun, maybe, I don't know. And basically, I say him basically a lot, don't I? And so that's what they stole. Don't know how it's important. We will find out later. And obviously, Riker got kidnapped, taken back to Vadic's ship. He's going, look, I've been around for years. You're not going to get me. And then we see Deanna Troi locked away. And Brent Spiner will do any acting job. That's what I'm presuming. So Riker sees Troi. He's obviously he might tell them everything. We don't know. There was no Kestra, but that's fine. That's not an issue. In terms of other things I noticed in the episode, we had Captain James T. Kirk's body inside the Daystrom chute, which means, is he alive? Is that just his body? What's going on? Are they just keeping Captain Kirk's body on ice? We had like a murder triple with, looked like, if you ever seen the movie Teeth, kind of looked like that. That was really interesting. The Kirk thing's really interesting because I'm like, are they keeping him alive, or is he dead, or is they just keeping his body? Why would they keep his body? He was on a mountaintop under some rocks. Just leave him be. So we had a lot of little information like that. Well, that's what I thought. That's the Genesis device, and that's what I thought the secret weapon would be at the end of this episode. I thought that they were going to tail end, and she was going to have stolen the Genesis device, or a Genesis device. And I thought that was going to be the big bad. Picard's body, I don't know. Maybe they're going to clone a lot of Picards. I have no idea. So it was an interesting flashback, an interesting score on that. So what did I think about the episode? I thought it was really good. The only thing, like, they're really good, but these last couple have been very, let's slow things down a little bit. There's not so much of a build. They've got 72 hours until Foundation Day, which means something's going to happen. Geordie brings up the fact that he's been protesting them bringing the entire fleet for Foundation Day, unless Earth is completely swamped by spaceships in the sky. I don't really want to see that anyway. But it's interesting to see what's happening. And everyone was on like full steam ahead in this episode. I think the emotional beats hit a lot with this episode. I don't think as much as last week. I think it was a good episode. Maybe Captain Kirk will come back in the Enterprise A. We don't know. So there is a reason. Make sure to subscribe and like if you want this. Make sure to share. The reason I'm on live is because someone got drunk and damaged my phone, and now the camera doesn't work. So if you would like to donate to my PayPal, it's TrekTrav1701. I have a Ko-fi, which is kofi.com/TrekTrav1701. Otherwise, PayPal is my favorite. It's TrekTrav1701. If you donate there, it'll help me get a new camera or a new phone, because honestly, at this point, it's going to all be live reviews. And make sure to come back, because I've got normal videos coming soon. My editing software ran out of registration. I don't have enough money because I'm unemployed at the moment. So any help you can give would be greatly appreciated. Make sure to come back next week for Star Trek Picard Season 3, Episode 7. And thank you for whoever's joined me in the chat for Games with Matt and AJ's Movie Place. And I'll see you again soon. Thank you. I'm sorry this is a short one. I might try this again soon.